Hey guys, welcome back to Vaporology, bringing you another review. You just can't wait to see. We got the Maganus by Vapeston. Been waiting on this one for a bit, and I have not been disappointed. Been really into my RTAs lately, with my UD Goblins and the Subtanks and the Nautilus and all those things, and this just kills them all. I can't even begin to describe. This is the first RTA out there compatible with up to 150 watts running on dual disposable coils. So I'll get in that and show you those in a second, but holy wow, right? 150 watts on disposable coils, and the airflow is just insane on this thing. Keep in mind I'm firing this guy at 53 watts right now, and it's enough for me. I've vaped it a lot higher. Don't get me wrong, I took it up to 120. I did fire it actually at 150 just once to see, and it didn't burn the coil or anything like that. It worked great. Too much for me. I don't need that much power. Flavors are phenomenal. I'm coming from a UD Goblin. So I'm coming from something that is known for putting out some of the best flavors in the RTA market right now. And this thing here, as soon as I use this for a day, I try to go back to my Goblin, and I just couldn't do it. This thing just has too much air, too much flavor. It is a phenomenal device. So let's get into it. I'll break it all down and show you all about it. This is actually the version 1. There are two. There's a version 2 which is being released in the coming weeks. It's essentially the same coils. It's updated packaging, and supposedly they've changed this cage on the inside to make it a little smaller for some of the bigger tipped bottles to fill. However, I've really had no problem. I'll show you how to fill this and all that coming shortly. But I've managed to get it pretty much plumb full, and it's not too complicated. So, give you a little close-up shot of it. Let's focus, yes. So it's really nice machining. Sorry, drip tip's hold 30. I'm using it. What I really like is the airflow. It ratchets. You hear that? And it's tight too, like it doesn't, I don't know, I like that a lot. You can see some writing inside there, 150 watt dual vertical coil. And that's pretty much it from the outside. Drip tip is actually one of the biggest bores I've ever seen on a 510 drip tip. They've really taken off a lot to make as much air flow through that top cap as possible. So you can see down the hole there. Kind of see the coil down there. Huge airflow though, right? Like that's just crazy. So let's open up the packaging and see what we got here. So this is exactly as it'll come to you. Not really a whole lot in the box, to be honest. I was kind of like, what? When I first opened it. Obviously you have the device to the front window. I put this card in there. This comes in the bottom actually, in the back. But we'll go through this for you real quick. I was interested to see, when I read this, there's some interesting stuff on here. So you can go ahead, I'll get a nice focus shot for you. But number 4 in the notes: to ensure the best taste of each vape, please change the dual vertical coils within 1 month if you're vaping at 1,000 puffs per day. Are you kidding me? 30,000 puffs on one coil? Like, is that a typo? Am I reading that right? Like that, when I read that, it kind of blew my mind. I'm like, holy crap, a month on one of these coils. Well, hell, if it'll last that long and still provide good flavor, I'm all over this thing. So you can read the rest of that if you like. This is kind of the breakdown of everything. Comes with 0.25 ohm resistance and 0.5 ohm. Reads 0.3 on my IPV. I'm assuming that's burned in, so it's an interesting setup. I gotta say, I'm really happy with it. So it does come with one spare coil. It's interesting in the box too, because the way that they've done this, you open it up, you're like, what the hell? And it's in the back. So you get spare glass, nice to see, and one spare coil. Now, if the coils last a month, well, hell, you're laughing. I was looking at getting some replacements already. They're kind of hard to find. They're all sold out everywhere. So knowing that they should last me a month gives me a little bit of peace of mind, knowing I don't need to scramble right now to find coils. I can get them in a couple weeks, right? So there it is. Dual, I believe it looks like 24 gauge to me. But they've just basically twisted 2 wires together and done a nice vertical coil setup. So you got huge, I'm running max VG juice in here. This is 80% VG, and I've had no problems. If anything, I wouldn't want to use this with anything else. I found I had a little bit of lighter juice at the beginning. I used maybe a 60%, and I was getting a bit of spitting. Now I don't know if that is because there's no mesh or anything at the top of this, and I found it was only at the higher wattages, up at like 70 plus watts. It was really sucking the juice in fast. So I was looking at this too, and it looks like, you know, if you're so inclined, you might even be able to rebuild this guy. Because you can pull this out. I've actually looked at this already. Similar to like those Ego coils, where if you actually look, I'm not going to pull it all, but you can see there's two wires right there, poking underneath. So that's going to be your negatives. And then you got two right there, poking up top, and those are your positives. So literally you would just need to wrap, I'll pull it up and show you. It's kind of, it's really in there. So there you go. Let's see if we can get that focus right there. So if you're so inclined, you might be able to rewrap these yourself. And I really do hope they come up with some sort of an RBA for this device. I think that would be pretty awesome. Allow you to build your own vertical coils. That's where it's going. That's where the market's going, I think. So that's basically it. And you get a spare piece of Pyrex glass, which pretty straightforward. Do I need to show you that? I guess I will. And there you go. So nice piece of glass. Happy to get a spare. Happy to get a spare coil. Overall, I just can't say enough about this thing. For a disposable setup, like, holy crap, this compares to any of my RDAs. Like, I got nothing on my bench right now that I would consider better than this. Even in my rebuildable departments. Like, this thing just puts out flavors on par with every single thing I'm vaping. So, wow. Yeah, let's get at it. I'll break it down and we'll show you what it's all about. Broken down, and we're going to assemble it. So I will show you how to fill it and all that. So we'll just go through the parts right now. This is the base. Nothing really much to it. You got one O-ring on the bottom. One thing that this thing doesn't come with is spare O-rings. Don't know if you really need them, but it's always nice to have. You know, I got tons of O-rings around, but still, I might not have all the proper sizes. Which, anyway, moving along. So the way that I can, like, some people have talked about the way they fill this, and this is the reason why they redesigned it. This little bottom cage here, when it's all screwed together, kind of makes it hard to fill because you're trying to fill through these little side holes here. But I'll show you that in a second. I fill it a different way, and I've never had a problem with it. So that's the base. You can't really disassemble it any more than this. You just thread your coil in, you have your adjustable airflow, got the pin in the bottom, connect to the 510, and that's basically it. So this is the coil I've been using for a few days. I don't know, we're going to see how long they last, I don't know. 1,000 puffs a day. Like, who the hell vapes 1,000 puffs a day? Like, that's crazy to me. 1,000 puffs. Like, think of a cigarette. How many puffs did you get off of, like, the smokers out there that finally kicked the analogs? What do you get out of a cigarette? 10, 12 puffs, maybe? 15 tops? So convert that. 1,000 puffs. Like, that'd be like smoking a carton of cigarettes a day or something. Anyway, so the way that this assembles, basically the glass just clicks in. And it's actually a nice sit on that O-ring, like it's not going to fall out easily. And then this base threads down like this, right? So that it holds it all together. This bottom piece is what's actually pulling the entire section together. So I can see why people don't like filling it the other way, because you have the potential of the top cap popping off and all your juice going everywhere. But I've never had any problems. As long as you're holding on to this top cap, it should be fairly easy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up now. I'm going to use some mod sauce. If you're interested, you can click that little eye in the corner there. We do ship Canada-wide. Fairly cheap shipping as well. It's usually under 10 bucks. Okay, so to show you how I fill, I just take a regular standard 30 ml bottle and I just fill this section up. So I'm using some of my strawberry cheesecake here. Very good flavor. So I just fill it right up, right to the top of the channel. Get as much in as you can. This just makes it easier for you later. So I'll fill it right up to the top. Don't go overfill or it will start going down the chimney. But I'll go right to the top just like that. Whew, close. Now you thread the cage in, making sure to keep that thing flat. And now as soon as you've connected the threads on this thing, it's not going to come apart now. So there you go. And to get the last little bit in there, I'll just go down like this, kind of keep it on an angle and try and get it all the way to the top. Sorry, trying hard to do that on camera, so I kind of just get it right as far as I can. I'll tilt it on an angle, and then now you just take the bottom section with the coil already threaded in, thread her down. And there you go. So let that glug glug for a second here, and I'll show you how much of the juice actually goes in. So there you go. So that is, I can see why they're redesigning it a bit, because you can get a little bit more than that actually. Now that the coil's full of fluid, if I flipped it over and filled it up, I would get it, you know, halfway between there and there. But pretty nice setup, I gotta say. I love this thing. I don't think I'm getting rid of it anytime soon. Might be interested in the V2, to be honest with you. So I hope you liked the video, guys. This thing throws the clouds, like they all throw the clouds. This thing is nuts, though. For disposable coils, if you're looking for an RTA, go for the Maganus, guys. So I hope you liked the video. Go ahead, crush the thumbs up button for me. Suggestions, comments, love to hear from you guys. Make it cloudy for me, my friends. Keep calm, vape on.